Hi coders, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to discuss about circuit breaker pattern in microservices with a detailed example of C#. For this, I need two services. Service 1 should communicate with service 2 to get the data. First, I'll show you. I have set up two different services in my local so that it would be easy to pause, stop and rerun. Okay. This is the order service. This service is going to be consumed in other service called circuit breaker. I named it. You can't see that because both are running in my local. That's why you are seeing localhost. Just differentiate the ports. Okay, 5001 port is for orders API, and the 63521 is the main API which is going to call this 5001 port API. For this, I'll show you first how this API works. I have a JSON of orders which is returning a set of products. This might be different because saying orders and returning products, just for understanding purpose I have given this one. Okay, so let us refresh this one. So when I refresh, nothing is happening here it seems, but actually data is coming from this JSON. What I'll do, I'll add one more product so that you will find the difference here. The fifth product will be shown up here. Okay, this service is up and running. Now I'll try to refresh this page so that the order service data will be shown in the main service, the calling service. Okay, here it is. So you can see like there are 5 products which are being shown on the calling API from the orders API. This is how service 1 should be communicated with the service 2. There are different ways we can host the service in Docker or cloud, any other machines, and we can get the actual URL, but for demo purpose I'm using it in local for ease of access. Now we will see what will happen if this service is down. For that I paused it. Let us see whether this service returns the data. Order service is not responding because we paused it. For this only I ran the applications, I ran the APIs in the local. It's very easy to pause. Okay, so the service is not responding. Now we'll see the calling API how it behaves when hitting a service which is not responding. It should fail. Yeah, it failed after 3 seconds of threshold time. See, so how many times I refresh the page. For each time I need to wait for 3 seconds in order to get the data. Imagine if there are thousands or thousands of requests are going to hit at the time of the service is down. So 1000 times into 3 seconds, like see the traffic at the calling service. To avoid this, the circuit breaker pattern has been implemented. So what it will does, I'll show you how the circuit breaker pattern works on a high level. So it has 3 states. One is closed, open and half open. So by default the circuit breaker state will be closed. So we can configure how many times it should hit a service. If the service is down, definitely we will not get the data. So at that time, how many times it has to hit the service, that we have to configure in the circuit breaker policy. If the given tries are over, the circuit breaker will be open, and how much time it should be open, we should give the threshold time in the policy. So what will happen when the circuit breaker is open, it won't call the API, the calling API. In our case it's the orders API. That will not be called until the half open state will be enabled. When the half open state will be enabled, we should give the wait time in the open state. Until then the service will not be called, and once the time has completed, this half open state will be opened. When the half open state is opened, then it will try to hit the orders API and try to get the data. If still it is down, again the circuit will be state will be open, and the same will be repeated until the service is up. Once the service is up, the state will be closed, and from then each and every time when we hit the orders API, it will give us the data. We'll see practically how it works. Okay. Now I'll show you how the circuit breaker pattern works, I'll show you a demo. After that, we'll dig into the code. In this case, still order API is not up, it is down. So we'll see like how it behaves when this API. If you observe, this is with the no breaker. This is a different endpoint. So the circuit breaker pattern has been implemented in this endpoint. So when I run, okay, I'll stop debugging. See, it's closed, and after means the current state. So I have given two failures. Two times I try to hit. If it fails two times, then I open the circuit. That's how I have configured the policy. I'll try to hit it again. After 3 seconds, call failed. Now the status is open. We discussed when the status is open, the service will be wait until the threshold time. After that, the service the circuit breaker status will set to be half open. Yes, the 10 seconds was over. Now it is half open. When it's half open, it will try to hit the service again. See, you can see the loading time. That doesn't mean the main service is going to hit the order service and try to get the data. At this point, what I have done, I'm not returning anything. Instead, I'm saying like fallback cache. So here you can implement a cache mechanism so that when the orders are not being loaded, you can return your set of orders or cache data from your previous call, or you can redirect to some other service or any other functionality we can implement. For now, I haven't done anything, just returning empty orders. What I'll do, I'll make the service up now and we'll see how it behaves. Okay, so now the service is up. That means the main service should get the data. But if you see the state after means the current state is open. When I refresh, it should go and sit in the state of half open, right? When this half open, then only our service will going to check whether the order service is up or down. Then if it is down, again it will go fall back to open state. Otherwise, it will close the circuit and get the data. Here it is. The state, if you observe, it is closed and we got the data as the order service is up. Now I'll show you by debugging the code how it is working internally. Let me open the main service code where the circuit breaker is implemented. If you remember, I disabled the breakpoint set, I'll enable it. Okay. So I'll show you in the program.cs, I have two endpoints. One is a no breaker. Here directly I'm calling the orders API. So there is no conditions or retry mechanism. So each and every time it will hit whether the order service is up or not, it won't check. And each and every time it will hit and wait for 3 seconds if the service is down, and it will throw an exception, and that will be handled in the catch. And this is the second endpoint, the main endpoint where the circuit breaker has been implemented. So here if you see like the HTTP call was wrapped inside a breaker execute async. That means we have a policy which is already been implemented on the circuit breaker. The execution will adhere to the conditions what we have implemented there. I'll show you the code here. This is the main function, so which has a failure count. We have seen right 2 out of 2. There are 2 fail counts we are showing, and opened it will check for 10 seconds. So this can be changed. Okay, so this is a code when the service is open. Okay, I'll run it while debugging. I'll explain it step by step. For that, we should pause the service first. Okay, and yes, the service is down. Now I'll try to refresh the page so that the breakpoint will come here. If you see, initially the state is closed. When this is closed, it won't go inside because this is only for the open state. And here it is checking, we are checking if it is half open. still it is closed. Closed means it will try to hit the service directly. And the count will be increased to 1. It's failed. So that failed count we are increasing to 1. And I'll try to hit the service again. Now still the state is closed. And the same count will be increased. And now the state is set to open because already we have crossed the maximum failures. Okay. And now when I try to refresh the page, now the state it's open. When it is open, it will check for the threshold time. The threshold time not matches, then it will come out. If you observe, like, we are not hitting any service, right? The auto service is not being hit. Then the status has become half open. When it's a half open and closed, during that time only we are going to hit the service. Since we are not getting the response, this line is not being executed, and still the state is half open. And in the exception, we are setting it to open, so that after some time it will wait for 10 more seconds, and if the service is down, the threshold time will be continued, and this open, half open, open, half open status will be exchanged. What I do now, I'll try to make the service up. Right. Yes, the service is up and we can see the data here. Now I'll try to refresh. This should be open. The status is open because we are not restarting the application. We just refresh the page. So since it is open, what it will do, it will come out. It won't hit the order service. Okay. Now the service status is, the circuit breaker status is half open. I told you when it is half open or closed, that time only service call will be happen. Now it should call the service and check whether the service is up or down. If it is up, yes, we got the data, and we are setting the circuit breaker should be closed. And from now onwards, since the service is up, each and every time when I refresh, state of the circuit breaker will be closed all the time. Right? So this is a code where I have implemented a basic functionality. If you want to configure more, you can increase the threshold time or number of read accounts and everything, you can do it. And also a fallback mechanism, like returning a cache or something, you can write on your own. Okay, please comment on the below, so that if you want to dig more into it or you want me to implement some more deeper, based on the comments, I'll do the next steps. Thanks for watching. Share your comments and follow my channel. Thank you.